Good. Hello and good evening, everyone. Welcome to the March 2nd Abington Planning Board meeting, 6 p.m. And it being 6 o'clock, Bruce Hughes, I'm going to call the meeting to order. And if you want to do the minutes of the February 2nd, anybody, has everyone had a chance to look at them? Does anybody have any comments on them?
No comments.
Bob, you have any?
No.
Jeff?
No.
Rick?
Oh, sure. Motion to adopt as is.
Second, please.
Second.
Motion made and seconded. All those in favor?
Aye.
Thank you. We don't have any correspondence.
Do you want to do the Form A applications?
Let's-
Attorney Riley is here.
Let's do the Form A applications. Mr. Riley?
Hi, Sean Riley, attorney for Mark and Lynn Barry on Shar Avenue, who've been working for several years with the Housing Authority to buy a small triangular piece of land on Shar Avenue, which is next to their house. And it's a very small part of the 14 or 15 acres that's the Housing Authority property. The Housing Authority met in January. We had to go through a process of hiring an appraiser, and our first appraiser couldn't put a value to it because it was essentially worthless, so we wouldn't put it in writing. So we hired a second appraiser, and he gave the authority a value. It was de minimis. There is an agreed price, but we have to file the Form A with you and into the Registry of Deeds. Ellen Delaney, the Housing Authority chairperson who signed the Form A application, texted me before the meeting, regretted not being here, but she wanted to be here to support the application. We've been working on this, as I said, for a number of years, and it's now come to fruition.
What's the purpose of the triangle?
Just to square off the residential lot that's next to it. You notice the lots on Shar Avenue, well, kind of at an angle
I got you. It's the other way around. The parcel A is going becoming.
to the house lot, right?
Okay.
It's unusable land by the Housing Authority because it comes out to a
Yeah.
12-foot point.
It wouldn't have hurt the housing authority to have a back entrance, though. Not that I want another one on Shar, but at least they should have something.
We're probably, just so you know, I'm probably going to be back here in another 2 or 3 months to do an adjustment of the left-hand lot line of the Barrys with their other residential neighbor. They're trying to square off lot lines, so it's just easier. They'd like to put a garage on because of the lot line, they need a variance, so if you're just buying that property, it's easier.
Yeah.
So they, when the housing, not that it's necessarily related to this, just out of curiosity, when the housing authority wants to sell land, does it have to go through a whole thing, or is it they can just take a vote and sell to?
If it's over $35,000, it has to go out to a public bid.
Okay.
After an appraisal's been done, et cetera, et cetera. As I said, we had an appraisal done. The appraisal came in at $2,750. We still wanted to know what we had to do. And at the January meeting, Tom Thibodeau, who is the CEO, said, you've done everything you need. You just need to take a vote to authorize Ellen to sign the Form A and eventually sign the deed.
Okay.
Make the motion, approval not required.
Second.
Motion made and seconded. Approval not required. All those in favor?
Aye.
Aye.
Thank you.
Unanimous. Thank you. You roll this up, please? Do we want to do Gordon Circle next?
Are you staying for the zoning board of appeals?
Yeah, I also have
200 Wales.
Yes.
Yep.
I got nothing else to do tonight.
All right, do you want to go back to the zoning board?
Let's go back to the ZBA agenda. Anybody see anything here that warrants your attention?
I guess, the comment we made last time, obviously we didn't have all the information. I guess we thought, if we're gonna make comments on stuff, maybe we should have more information. So, I don't know, you, Katie, sure. About 42 on there. We're trying to split that lot into two. Trying to make conforms with some of the neighborhood. Some circumstances, you want to control that. I don't know what to say, I guess. It's on the variance and what we're going to do. That's my thought.
No, that's a good point, Bob. Anybody? That's a good point, thank you.
You guys, did I also include the email from Mr. and Mrs. Twist?
Yep.
Yes.
Okay, excellent.
So my thought is, I have two avenues of thought. First is, if we're looking at it from what's under our purview, which is usually like a site plan review type of scenario or a Form A scenario, what we can say is that the land is in conservation, it doesn't have wetlands apparently. The size is similar to others in the neighborhood. It's not, it doesn't stand out in any sort of way without, of course, not seeing a plan. There's nothing that instinctively says, like, this is a problem if you split it off. So from that vantage point, from the planning board standpoint, like, we don't see, if they really want to do it, if to allow it, there's no reason they couldn't. My other thought was, if the homeowner just wanted to build an ADU on the site, they could do that anyway. So the argument about traffic, the arguments and these other things doesn't apply because they can still do it. They can still build something there. My one recommendation would be like, all right, if they want to do this, to put a condition that the house has to be a certain size, like they said in this letter, and they can't all of a sudden show up with, 2,600 square foot house on this lot.
Yeah.
But I don't see any reason why it would be detrimental to split it.
And as the letter said, the owner purchased the property knowing the zoning restrictions. The hardship is self-created.
Yeah, that's for the zoning board to decide if they want, what they want to do with that. From our standpoint, from a site plan, from a use standpoint, every other, if they put a house like every other house on that street on there, I don't think it's a big deal. Like I said, they could put an 800 square foot ADU on there and can't say boo about it. 900 square foot. So I mean, you're only talking slightly larger house anyway.
I don't think they want to put an ADU on it.
No, but I'm saying they could.
They could, yeah.
And then, and then it could be sold as a house with an income property on it.
Yeah.
So, I mean, that's their backup plan. If they don't get the variance to split it.
So do we want to send a letter of recommendation? If we could form a consensus here, do we want to form a consensus of what we'd like to give the ZBA a recommendation?
I wouldn't say we're recommending it. I would say we don't see any reason why not to.
Okay. Anybody?
Kind of statement still. I get those from the police department all the time. It's like, yeah, I kind of look at it, but it's okay.
Rick Shepherd?
Yeah, I guess my inclination is that this gets deferred over to the Zoning Board of Appeals for their determination. And I don't think It's kind of out of our jurisdiction. And unless the zoning board of appeals is requesting our input, I'm not sure why I see we'd offer it. This is theirs to do, not us.
Yeah, I don't think ZBA is requesting our input.
I don't
They
think so.
did. So you guys recommended or sent a note at the last meeting
I remember, yeah.
that the lot was non-conforming, then you're splitting it into
And then we
two.
got some additional information.
Right, and then, so they asked that the additional information be provided, and then after the additional information was provided, did your thoughts change? It's
Okay,
sort of,
So then they did request some feedback from the board.
they did,
Okay.
Okay, then we go back to what Rick Collins was saying.
Liz, did you get that in the notes? What Rick said?
yep.
Yeah, you want to read it
So
back?
that it's not, that the board's not necessarily recommending this, but that the board doesn't see any reason why not under the planning guidelines. He didn't say planning guidelines, I put that in because that's what your intent was, right? Because you're reviewing it as through the lens of the planning board.
Is everyone okay with that? Okay. You're also, Rick, Bob,
Yeah.
Jeff, you okay with this?
Yep. If I,
Yeah.
I'm going to tweak it just a little bit. Comma, particularly under consideration, the homeowner could place a ADU on the site without any.
By right.
By right.
Square feet.
Yeah.
No, that's,
Okay.
yeah, towns have been pushing the 80, we have ADUs, so, okay.
Okay.
So, I don't think do we need a vote, or could this be consensus?
No, I can just, yeah.
Okay,
Send
okay.
that back.
Okay, so the consensus of the board to, for Liz to send this over to the ZBA. All right, okay.
And Mr. Chairman, while we're still on the zoning board of appeals, Rick called earlier today about 190 Washington Street, and I did go down and talk to the building inspector and get some clarity on that for the board members. They have filed for two things. One is to overturn his cease and desist decision, and the other one is that they're applying to operate a sober house as a convalescent home. I don't think and the other one is to overturn his decision that he's saying it's not a single-family residence with a bunch of people living there, because the determination of a single-family residence of 4 people who are related to each other, or was it second-degree kinship, then you can have more than 4. And none of these people have any degree of kinship relationship to one another. So that's what that is all about. It's that it was operating, and I believe it was 18 or 19 people living there.
That was the nature of the cease and desist?
Yeah, because they were not operating as a single-family home, and they had no,
Unofficial group home, were they doing this sober house with all the people that are in the house?
yes. So the house was a single-family home, and then somebody else bought it, and I don't know if you saw, they did a lot of work, at least to the outside, probably the inside as well.
Yep.
And I'm not sure if they flipped it, or if the people who did all the work were the ones who are now operating it as a sober house.
That was one of my questions, was the people who did the work, are they currently the owners?
I'm not sure.
Because they've lit the place up like it's like Times Square.
Oh, I haven't been by at night.
I mean, they had one light in particular that was focused on the end of the driveway, but it just shined directly into the street. So I think they've dialed it back a little bit, but that's interesting.
So the building inspector feels like either way, they'll be coming to planning, because they're operating it as a rooming house, which doesn't exist. There's no such thing as a rooming house.
Yep.
So he feels like they'll be coming to planning for site plan review. Either way, they try to do this.
So we'll need a really good understanding from town council and what we're allowed to regulate when it comes to sober homes, if it is considered a sober?
We're not allowed to regulate that at all. It's rooming house
Right.
is convalescent home-like. However, they're trying to,
What would be the nature of the site plan review?
That's kind of what I'm getting to.
So there isn't a distinction between a sober house and a rooming house somewhere?
we don't have, we don't, well, we can't, sober house is not differentiated
Would be nice to
as far as I know.
see more information if it does happen.
So town council will be at the zoning board meeting Thursday night, or whatever night.
I did
March 12th.
Housing for women with children escaping bad situations and drug habits too. It really was internal. It was mainly about making sure that hell everybody could get out of the fire. 'Cause who knows, you know.
Yeah.
Right, so they're going to have to put a sprinkler system in, because there's no sprinkler system in there, and parking,
That-
right? So there's some stuff that would definitely be under the planning board purview.
Yeah, that's kind of the question. I have no problem with it being used for that purpose. It's more like, all right, are we able to look at parking, be able to look at lighting, egresses, any of those other sort of details?
Yep.
Do we think there's enough parking on that site? for
Well,
this?
they're not gonna have 19 cars, but you still need to have staff that work there,
Yeah,
essentially.
well, that would be my
Right.
concern, that, you know.
So as a convalescent home, you would need some kind of nursing or
Yeah.
medical care staff, right?
So could you, and this doesn't have to be off the top of your head, but could you tell us where in the rules and regulations what makes this fall under a site plan review
I
condition?
think if they, so one is to overturn his decision, and I think because there are 19 people living there and it would no longer be a single-family home, they would need a variance for a rooming house. So if they wanted to do the rooming house,
So a variance for the rooming house would come from,
the zoning board of appeals, but he
Zoning Board
would.
of Appeals, right.
But he would send them to us for site plan review. I think for parking, lighting, all the other stuff that
zoning would send
landscaping,
them to planning.
the building
for a-
commissioner would.
For a site plan, okay.
Yeah.
That's how they'd end up.
And then if it's and if they get permission to have a convalescent home there, same thing. It would be like if they were building Colony Place, right?
The only reason I even asked about Mount Laurel, it's like a single family home. It's like a handicap facility. They've been there.
Right.
Pronounce it right, the Hoyer lifts to lift people up and that kind of handicap.
Yep.
And I thought back when it happened, they kind of get it as right. That's why I was asking the question. about the
Yeah, so
solar
no,
house.
I think all of them are by right.
Yeah.
You can do it by right. I think where this is 18 or 19 people living there,
Right.
2 to 3 people a bedroom. I think we've now gone from
Right, but.
that to, it needs to be sprinkled.
Yeah.
It's a rooming house, you need to, they didn't have there's nothing in place. They didn't have anything in place. They were, it was a 5-bedroom, I think it's a 5-bedroom house. I'm not 100% sure on that.
This particular house I'm talking about, I don't think it went through any of that either, but I don't remember.
Yeah, I don't know.
A shoestring budget, it sounds like. Trying to open up a home with a shoestring budget, most everything's.
Yeah, there's got to
donated
be
money.
some sort of rules and regulations. I would
Yeah.
assume.
So it's either rooming house or it's convalescent home and that. So I guess, and town council will be at their meeting I can't remember the other reason now, but they were going to be there anyway, so they can probably address this as well. And then the last thing that's on there, actually, I got a call from their attorney this morning, 676 Bedford Street, and they want to do 4 units. It's the old Susan, it's on the corner of Shar Ave and Bedford Street. And for those of us who have been here for a really long time,
The
it used to be Hilliard's Candy.
Oh, built, the attorneys was Hilliard's Candy?
Yeah,
And the other side was ice cream, wasn't it? Where Russ Wheatley had his,
it might have been. I don't remember that long ago. I don't remember that far back.
No, I'll think
Sean?
about
Is that where the daycare is now?
I remember telling you, Candy, huh?
It's a daycare right now, right?
No, it was the attorney's office, and now nobody's been in there. and I-
Okay.
So these people have bought it, and it's 2 units, and they want to make it 4. So they're going to zoning for that, for the residential use and highway commercial, I believe. And then that will come back to the planning board because it's 4 units for site plan
So
review.
it's a long disused property.
No, it hasn't been.
No,
vacant.
it's got two units of 2 apartments that are there now, and they want to make it 4. They want to make the office space that was being used 2 units. So just a little peek at the crystal ball for your future.
Aside, do you know if she's still alive?
I don't.
Yeah, I thought so, yeah.
Did she?
I have thoughts about losing more commercial real estate to full residential, but I think that's outside of our purview right now.
It's not.
The apartment complex is.
It's not if you want to have that, if you want to send that note to the zoning board, because they're going to make that determination.
I mean, did we approve the full residential use of the property, Russ Wheatley's old property?
No. It's only 3
No.
units.
That was, the last thing was the storage, right, there?
Yeah. But so they're renovating it into residential, but I know one of the units doesn't have a foundation on it, so they got to figure out what to do about that.
Are they doing residential there?
I thought it was all
Yes.
residential.
They're
went- they went to the
making it into
zoning board.
apartments, yeah. It's been
Interesting.
sitting there for a long time. They
Yeah.
did a lot of work on it.
They've had the permit for, I don't know, the building permit,
they
they've
had
had
to
the
do a lot of work on
permission
it.
Yeah.
from the zoning board for a while.
But that building on the left of it doesn't have a foundation, so I imagine they're going to have to put one under it somehow.
Not necessarily.
No?
That's the gray building.
It should have a foundation.
It's
for
Russ Wheatley's old building.
Yeah.
No?
Yeah, but they have the pretty
Well, as
colored
long as you
doors
put it
on,
on piers.
Yes.
if that helps
Put it on
anybody.
piers, yeah.
Well, like my church has, right?
Right?
All down the beach
Lovely.
are on piers.
Yeah. I wonder what they'll do with the attorney's
Still see
office
straight underneath it.
across the street from that.
They're not- Yeah, I'm
Adjacent to the
assuming they'll
apartments?
close it, yeah.
But they want to make it into 2 units,
Okay.
2 apartment units, yep.
I mean, if the board's okay, I'd like to send a note saying, in the opinion of the planning board, we're concerned about the loss of commercial and industrial real estate in the town and the impact on the tax base, and have reservations about losing another prime commercial parcel to an all residential use at this moment.
I don't have a problem with that. That's good. I mean, you know, look what's happened in North Abington Center. That was zoned for business and it's been residential and stuff like that, so.
All right, so for the zoning board of appeals agenda, I'm responding to 42 Norton Ave and then 676 Bedford Street. Okay,
All right.
gotcha.
So have we, excuse me, have we covered everything we needed to cover in the ZBA?
So,
Okay. You want to talk about Gordon Circle? Or we want to do 200 Wells Street?
do you want to be here all night, or you want us to
Sean,
cut
are
through
you here
this?
for 200 Wells Street?
We talked about zoning stuff too at the end, right?
Yeah.
Well, they just did that, so did you want to chime in on any of the zoning stuff?
No, only
Oh, the other zoning stuff, yeah.
zoning bylaw.
Yikes. Can we vote to amend and approve the minutes of February 2nd?
Didn't we just do that?
Voted to approve them.
We did. We just did
Evan,
that.
We didn't include
an email from Lisa Aiello
Lisa Aiello.
for 44 to 54 Linwood Street. She had emailed you guys before the first go-around and expressed her opposition to the project. And then she emailed us again on February 2nd and asked that we give this email to you, and I forgot, so my bad, but she again expressed her opposition, but she wanted it as part of the record. So I'm asking that you can amend the February minutes and include her opposition.
Do we need to read it in?
Sure.
All right, so motion to reconsider
The approval?
the approval of minutes from February 2nd, 2026. And reopen discussion.
Someone want to second that?
Second.
Motion made, seconded. All those in favor?
Aye.
Aye. Okay, Liz.
Okay, so the email from Lisa Aiello is addressed to Kevin. It says, "Hi, Kevin, sending this again with regards to the planning board meeting. I'm sorry I can't attend as I was just alerted to the meeting yesterday by my neighbor. My position is the same as the initial email below from September. I am not sure there are new plans. As I understand, approval was initially granted for 2 lots, but they are now trying to include an additional lot in their plans. As of the last plan I saw, the third proposed house lot would put my home into a buffer zone, which I am against, obviously. I am copying my statement in blue below." And then she just read, "I would like it noted publicly and recorded as part of the 2/2/26 planning meeting that I oppose any plans in this proposal that would affect my property by putting my property 11 Hunts Pond Lane into a buffer zone as it appears the plans would do. Thank you, Lisa Aiello, 11 Hunts Pond Lane." So if we could include that as part of this, the record, those minutes.
So would someone like to make the motion to include her comment letter in the minutes?
I'll make it.
Motion made, seconded.
Second.
Okay, all those in favor?
Aye.
Aye.
Thank you.
All right.
Okay, do you want to whoop-de to Gordon Circle?
Let's do Gordon's Circle.
Okay. The Board of Selectmen, at their meeting last Thursday, voted to put the petition article on the warrant for the annual town meeting in May for Gordon Circle. Mr. O'Leary did not do the petition article. The neighbor, one of the neighbors did the petition article. They used the waiver form that Mr. O'Leary's attorney drafted, which was the eminent domain waiver. Again, the only one who can do the eminent domain acceptance is the Board of Selectmen. So they voted to put it on the warrant at the last meeting. So it will move forward to a town meeting. You guys will hold a public hearing on that roadway acceptance article at your April meeting. It's in the hands of town council to draft. I've sent her all the information. But Mr. O'Leary's attorney has reached out and would like his bond returned. As stated before by town council, we cannot take that bond money for maintenance on the roadway. So that's kind of where we are right now.
And there was also an unofficial where he was, we'll talk about the neighbors about some damage at the end of the driveway or some things they hadn't finished.
So the damage at the end of the driveway was, if I'm remembering correctly, because that neighbor put a pool in or something. They did something, but they caused their own damage to that.
And the other one was the drainage.
The catch basins need to be cleaned and.
Well, no, clean is, but I mean, I thought it didn't flow right. I thought it wasn't finished on the other end.
Well, I think they're kind of sinking.
Oh, okay. That's common everywhere. It's the way they're putting them in the last
Right.
10,
And
15
it's
years.
20 years later, so I'm not sure, based on what town council said, that there's a lot of recourse to not releasing the funds.
So, just to recap, was it Silva Engineering that did the inspection?
Yes.
Okay. And they identified a couple of things that weren't done initially. It was the street light and it was the firebox. We no longer do fireboxes, so that's
Yep.
cool. And the town also said we don't need a street light.
It was never on the plan.
It was never on the plan. Okay.
What about the
But it's-
firebox? It was still-
We don't do them
You
anymore.
know,
But as far as they know for the rest of it, the road was built at the time correctly?
As far as everybody can determine, I mean, there's no hard and fast, I mean, it's 20 years since. The engineer at the time was P&P, and nothing got reviewed because he wasn't moving forward with the roadway acceptance. Which is a
So-
conversation we can have,
was
I
gonna
would
say-
like to have like at April or May about the other stuff that's floating around out there.
Yeah.
That's not accepted, because I'll tell you, we didn't get a roadway acceptance submission for Robert English.
Yeah. So, did you say that PMP never did the official check when everything was complete?
Correct.
All right, so we don't know if it was actually built.
We
to spec
don't know
at
if
the
it was actually built. It appears,
time. Okay.
from what Silva Engineering could see, that it was built.
Okay.
When it was built, it was
Well,
okay.
there was also some question about whether a as-built was formally submitted, right? On top of that?
They gave me a copy of the as-built, but that was it. They didn't say they were moving forward with the roadway acceptance or that they wanted, they just dropped it off
Yeah,
and didn't say what they were doing with it.
yeah, so the as-built never went to the engineer.
No.
Right, okay.
So I guess I'm just, because they never called out to have the inspection done anyway, we don't know if it was built up to standards.
Correct.
So I don't know, I don't know necessarily if we can say that it was. I think it may look like it, but we don't know if maybe the reason it's settling is because it wasn't initially at the right time. So, 20 years later, kind of thing, we're gonna have to do some improvements to it. So it would certainly help to have that money to put towards some stuff we're gonna have to do.
You can't take it. Because what what improvements are you talking about? Because anything that's related to maintenance, like those catch basins or the detention basin, all of that stuff, we cannot
But
use that
that's the thing
bond money
is
for.
we potentially don't know until we have to go in and maybe we get in there to fix the catch basin, or we get in there to fix the manhole, and we realize, oh, wait, they didn't even build this correctly. That's why it's sinking. So I don't want to just give them their money back and then find out after we get into the roadway, oh, wait, here's why we're having these problems.
Well, now we're in a circle.
Catch-22.
Yep.
Well,
And
and
we wouldn't have given him all his bond back until it was accepted anyways.
Right, we would have held.
25
The least
grand.
amount is 25 grand, yeah.
And I question whether or not it's going to be accepted. Just throwing that out there.
I think we're in agreement that the money they have is not going to be enough to, bring it up to specs. Is that right?
It's what I remember correctly
Yeah.
from his
I mean,
letter. He said, I think it's 36 or 39,000.
At a
I don't
minimum,
have it
you
in
would
front of
think-
me.
And it was like.
You would think
20.
they'd have to clean the drainage, clean the detention pond at a minimum. Even if Larry said it appeared to be built to specs. I mean, that would be a standard thing when you're accepting something. Yeah, I know town councils seems to think that we can't, and I hate to go against town council.
Well, we're still going to review this
But-
before our April meeting, at our April meeting.
At your April meeting, you'll look at the roadway acceptance article to make a recommendation to town meeting.
And that'll be the meeting before town meeting.
No.
Oh,
Town meeting's in May this
Oh,
year, so
April,
this
yeah.
is your public hearing to make a recommendation.
okay. So it's not going to be the night of the town.
Yeah, no, it'll be a month before.
I just had a quick question too. It's another thing on the selectmen's agenda last meeting was to review roadway acceptance procedures. Did they do anything?
No.
Do you remember that? You saw it? Yeah.
So we didn't hear anything from the town manager in terms of next steps or how to approach or anything like that
For,
about this?
no.
It's really got nothing to do with it.
No, so, I mean, the procedure laid out under state law is that whoever submits a petition article, the petition gets certified. It did, it passed. They had 10 registered voters. They had more than that, but 10 registered voters. It gets submitted to the Board of Selectmen. The Board of Selectmen vote to lay out the road. They voted to put it on the warrant, and then I asked them to vote to send it back over to the planning board for a recommendation, which they did do.
All right.
That's normally how that procedure works.
So, but you haven't, or we haven't heard anything from the board or the town manager since that vote was taken last Thursday?
No, I asked him for the information that was submitted so I could send it to town council,
All right.
and that was it. And he provided that.
So we're still waiting for some direction.
No,
No? we're all set?
no.
No, good. All right.
The hearing you're going to have will be to make a recommendation to town meeting in May. That hearing will take place in April because we have to advertise it. So you'll do that and the zoning changes, the proposed zoning changes at your April meeting.
And we're going to have some information from more information from town council, I assume,
Not on Gordon
Okay.
Circle.
on the roadway acceptance. I thought you
We'll
were
have the
going to submit
article.
that stuff to town council for her opinion.
Yeah, she's drafting the article. I think they've already recommended that they wouldn't
So
accept
I
it.
guess we're not really talking
remember
about that, but
Say that again?
I think, didn't they say they would be reluctant to accept a 20-year-old road?
Who said
I
that?
don't know.
Town
if they-
council? I think.
I never saw that, so.
You didn't
that's-
see that?
I don't remember that.
It should have 5 or 10 more years to the road.
Well, let's take a look at our packet.
So
No, wouldn't have been in your
on the
packet.
other part, they're going to have to take things by eminent domain. There isn't a cleaner way to do that? The neighbors can't sign away their, like they were doing the fee in the road, just like it normally happens?
I'm not sure why his attorney proceeded in this manner.
Right.
I asked him that question and did not get an answer. I explained to him that the only people who can approve that are the select board.
So I guess my question is, with our recommendation, can we put that as part of our recommendation? That it be a little cleaner? There's still no reason why the neighbors can't, I'm guessing, I don't know, the neighbors can't sign away their rights instead of us taking it by eminent domain.
I think the problem at this point is, in order for them to do a gift, which is normally the other way that would be done, they would
Right.
gift it to the town, they would have to have their mortgage company sign off. And that's what becomes tricky and problematic, is that that doesn't happen in the blink of an eye.
I guess when we see the drafted article, we're going to have some sort of an opinion from town council.
Yeah, can you give me your keys and I'll run get that file? I'll go in and see if I can find the email.
It's not important right now, we're going to have another
Would it
meeting.
be improper if we asked Attorney Riley?
Yeah.
Could you might provide us some guidance on this, please?
Stick his neck out.
Yes, I'm going to withhold comment.
You could
as-
just say no.
I would.
I don't represent the developer or anyone who lives on Gordon Circle. I've come to find out what's going on. I will say, I was at the selectmen's meeting, and at least one of the selectmen's opinion was something like, in his words, that the town should take the road or whatever. It wasn't the neighbor's fault. What the process is, I defer to town council. And as moderator, I'm here just to listen and get ready what's coming down the road. So I don't want to get too into the weeds, so I can stay up there at the podium and even play moderator. Okay?
Well, we need some kind of record of why we're doing this half-assed, because we don't have any precedent on it. How do we do this half-assed? We got to get some professional opinion.
Yeah, that's what town council is for.
Yeah, what's before you now doesn't happen often. A lot of other towns prefer new roads to remain private roads. Every town kind of has their own philosophy, and I think sometimes that's dictated by which legal firm is representing them and what their tradition is. But I think town council might give you your list of options, which may be 1 or 3, I'm not sure.
Thank you, Sean, appreciate it. Didn't mean to put you on the spot,
No worries.
but you always value.
So I guess, can we hold off on this
Always
bond thing
value
until we have that public hearing?
Sure.
I think that's what we need.
I mean, and again, a normal acceptance, we would be holding monies until after it was accepted. And then my question in that meeting is going to be somebody's going to clean, I would assume, a normal procedure, somebody's going to clean the drainage at a minimum.
All right, so I think I gave this to you in January, that's why you don't have it. From Amy Questle, Liz, in my opinion, if the roadway was built as required in 2006, a fund should have been released then. The attached letter references an as-built plan from 2006. If the peer reviewer agrees that the as-built was sufficient in 2006, which we don't have, in my further opinion, the town must return the funds and cannot use the funds for maintenance or repairs to things that have happened over time. I note the peer reviewer states the road appeared to have been constructed in accordance with the approved plans, but did show aging and in need of maintenance. It is a private road, and repairs and wear and tear are now responsibility of the owners. I also note that if the roadway was not constructed properly and the bond is seized before the town can complete any infrastructure improvements in the subdivision, the town must accept the layout of the subdivision pursuant, and she cites Mass General Law, or obtain permission from the property owners to complete the work. Permission of the property owners would typically be in the form of a temporary construction easement granted by all property owners to the town. So my bad, she didn't say that.
Okay.
And then Sharon said the town is not legally required to accept private roads as public. If the select board does not wish to assume the risk of being sued by the owner of 5 Gordon Circle for damages for a drainage easement, the select board has the discretion not to accept Gordon Circle as a public way, and it's my opinion that a court cannot compel a municipality to make a road a public way. I think this was the conversation you guys were having about that back then, before, when they weren't gonna sign off on the paperwork. I know other towns take that same position, that if the town needs rights on abutting lots and those easements are not granted voluntarily for nominal consideration, they will not accept such roads as public ways. That all changed, as we know, when they came forward and said they were all going to sign the paperwork, which was unbeknownst to anybody until that meeting.
And then that never happened. That
And
never
then-
happened. That never happened, them signing all the paperwork.
They did.
The paperwork for,
The waivers, the eminent domain waivers that
Oh, they
his
did.
attorney.
they did sign it, even
Yes.
that other guy.
Yes. Yeah, but which you guys didn't know until that meeting. What was that, February?
February.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Oh, I thought we weren't sure.
Well, we
No,
hadn't heard-
they
Because the other guy was somewhere that was indisposed of. He said he would sign it, but
Right.
did he actually sign it?
He did. So the petition article arrived at the Board of Selectmen with 3 out of those 4 petitions, and the other one got delivered. So they have all been signed.
So, I don't see a big problem with the board kind of kicking the can down the road a little bit pertaining to the bond, because it's been 18 or 20 years, so another couple of weeks probably isn't going to make all the difference in the world, I don't think. But with that said, we have a request to return the bond. And we put that question out to town council, and town council came back and said if the roadway was built to spec, then it's the board's obligation to return the bond. If we had a way of demonstrating that the road wasn't built to spec, then we might be in a position to argue about the return of the bond, but we're not. We can't make that representation. We flat out don't know.
But
If we were to refuse to return the bond based upon an assumption that the roadway had not been built properly, then that, to me, begs a lawsuit.
well, that's part of the problem. We are assuming because it was never followed through with an inspection at the time. He might have submitted an as-built, but he never followed through. It's not up to the planning board to follow through, I would assume.
But this is the question we put to town council, isn't it?
Yep. And their answer was It references Larry's review. And actually, Mr. O'Shaughnessy, who is,
Larry's review speaks to current state.
Larry Silva issued a letter dated December 29th, which states, quote, "The road appeared to have been constructed in accordance with the approved plans, but did show aging and in need of maintenance," end quote.
Again, we're under, it appears.
Yeah.
Yeah, I didn't see any, in the pictures I saw, I didn't see anything that looked like bad construction, just typical construction. Like I said, the roads in the last 20 years, the crews are horrible. And nothing's not really separate nicely. But those cracks of the drains, you'll see it up in Crabtree. The drains are too close to the surface, and the frost heaves, things settling around, makes a crack around the granite curbs are, they look like they're pretty much standing, they're vertical. I guess it was all come down to, is everything in place so the drainage works, so when a heavy rain hits, does it puddle in somebody's driveway, or is it heading out to the drain like it's supposed to?
I think that was part of Larry's comment. He said it appears that it's working properly, even though it's overgrown.
So again, I don't
Take it as
think
is, as is.
if we defer this to the discussion to the April meeting, then if that's the board's sense, then then that's fine. I just don't see what additional information is going to be available to us that isn't already available. Town council's opinion isn't going to change. And, to me, based upon the discussion we've had in town council's opinion, I don't think the board has a standing to refuse to return the bond.
I think the only thing we have an option to is whether to recommend that we feel that it's, they give our recommendations or our knowledge on the road, but I don't think we have any option either with the money. I don't, like you said, I don't think we can even talk about it. It's just a matter of what do we do with it now? Do we pass on as is to the town, and somehow we got to write down that they're buying it as is?
The recommendation of whether the planning board thinks the town should accept it is really kind of a separate
Yes.
separate discussion, separate issue.
I would agree.
The question of the bond to me just seems like it's relatively cut and dried at this point. And again, I don't think there's any additional information that's going to be made available to us that's going to change anything. It's going to change anything that we don't already know.
Well, we've been fortunate to have been provided with all this information, especially Larry's, review of everything. So, I guess we will continue this at the April meeting.
Is that what you guys want to do?
Motion to continue until our April meeting.
Second?
Second.
Motion made and seconded to continue the discussion on the surety release of Gordon Circle until the April meeting. Motion made and seconded. All those in favor?
Aye.
Aye. Unanimous.
Do you want me to reach out to Mr. O'Leary and see if he'll clean the catch basins and the detention basin?
There's no
if he
harm in
can-
that.
If he can get permission to go
That's the problem.
onto 5 Gordon Circle.
The other part of that is that we opening a can of worms, recommending, never mind, we'll discuss that next time.
Okay.
Haven't-
Okay, so I will, because I think he was not opposed to doing that originally.
And again, Larry's, I wish he was here, but never mind.
Just,
Well, he'll be here, I mean,
Right.
hopefully he'll be here in April.
Right?
Yep.
just to inform people who didn't hear this lately, our engineering consultant, Larry Silva's mom died recently, and he's going through that, so that's why he wasn't able to be here tonight.
Do we know how many other roadways, we have this similar issue with, it's this one, it's Carriage Hill, it's Crabtree Extension.
Carriage Hill should never be accepted because that was originally in
Yep.
their deeds because it lays over two towns.
Yep.
And I don't think it was built to town specs
It
at the
was not.
time. I came into that late as well. So I don't know that that's ever even been
Yep,
on a list, but
But-
it's McHugh Circle, Robert English, and Crabtree Lane Extension, off the top of my head. John L. Sullivan has not been accepted.
I guess that was going to be my comment, are we setting a precedent for other ones?
yeah. I guess maybe it'd be helpful if we could provide a list to the town manager and the board of selectmen to make them understand that there's several out there that we have this issue with. And they can help decide how to pursue.
I would direct the staff, if you guys can do that, that would be
Yep.
great. Thank you.
So we'll get a list of roads together, and then you guys,
And
we'll
let us
put it on
know,
the April
yeah.
agenda, and then you
Yes.
guys can let us know how you want to
But like,
proceed.
are there any other surprises, like would we find out like Broad Meadow or? you know,
Nope, those
any-
are all accepted.
All right,
Broad Meadow, Buckboard, those were all done.
Karen
Where
and,
Mr. Riley lives is all done.
so they,
Adley Drive
was
is all
accepted.
done. Yep.
okay, made sure of it.
Veterans Place got done with like Cook Way and those roads off of Plymouth Street, those
Yep.
were done.
Because I represent.
Buckley,
Reserve the fee in the road. Buckley was gonna be private
okay,
from the get-go.
All right.
Because it's not a road, it's more of a driveway
so,
road.
and it's same as Rose,
The one off of Chestnut Street, same thing, that
No.
was a driveway.
the one off Spruce, private?
Yeah, private,
Okay,
yeah, and they each have documents saying they're required to maintain the road.
okay,
Yeah,
Well, you know, the thing has always been to get the streets accepted, because the more accepted streets we have, the more Chapter 90 money the town is entitled to. The more, you know, the highway, the state, this goes back to my old colony planning council days, but yeah, no, it would be good for the town to get these accepted so we could get state money to it. But anyway,
no,
all right. Moving on.
do you want to skip to the draft warrant articles for town meeting?
Yes, let's do that.
Next question, do we
Sir.
take a public vote to continue the 200 Whale Street here?
Not yet,
Okay, you are coming, okay.
yep, we'll get there.
We'll get there, Mr. Riley. Thank you for waiting.
Okay, so, last year, when we did the ADU bylaw, we corrected the table of use to say no, that a special permit, because, so in the CBD and the TOD, we took out special permit and made it a no in the table of use, but in the actual language of those bylaws, it still said all residential use by special permit.
Just back up. I know we know what they mean, but Liz, could you explain what those acronyms mean?
ADU
Yes.
is a granny pod.
No, just, you know, okay.
Not necessarily.
That's the
Not
official.
necessarily.
Or a grandpa pod?
I
necessarily.
never read that as a planning term. Great. No, just, you know, CD, you know,
Accessory dwelling unit,
yes, okay. Otherwise known as granny pod.
that's a granny pod. Yeah, so as we all know, that was mandated by the state. We came up with a bylaw to help us have, I don't want to call it leverage, but protect neighbors from, you know, wild bachelor pads and Party Central. So anyway, we did not do those, make those changes when we did that. And I also thought that we would have to do, when the Attorney General sent it back, they struck a word, And I thought we needed to re-adopt the article, but we don't, because once it's struck by the Attorney General, it's struck by the Attorney General, so it's gone and we don't have to re-adopt anything. So we're just down to the Central Business District and the Transit-Oriented District, fixing the language in those two zoning districts to not allow a single-family use. So then you're not entitled to put an ADU on those lots.
The rule is ADUs are allowed wherever a single-family home is allowed by right.
Right,
So
or
those-
by special permit,
Or by special permit.
or by
all right.
special permit.
So right now, residential, a single family is allowed in our R20, R30, R40 by right,
By right.
and where by, anywhere else by special permit?
And the FW, which I cannot remember what that, floodplain? Floodplain, yeah.
That's more of an
So
overlay.
it's still allowed by a special permit there. And it's in the transitional commercial, it's allowed by right. And then our 20, 30, 40. But it's a no in general commercial, highway commercial, industrial, business development, central business district, and the transit-oriented district, and the Muppet district.
That's Mr. Riley's favorite.
Yeah,
It's a no on the chart,
yep.
but it's just,
It's a yes in TC and a special permit in FW, and then a yes in all the residentials.
but there's language in the text of CBD and POC that allows
It still says special permit
for 100% residential.
for 100% residential use in,
CBD, TOD.
yeah, by,
TOD,
yes, CBD, TOD, by a vote of the planning board.
and that's what you want to.
That's what we're trying to fix. So I sent these because Mr. Riley is the moderator, and it's going to be a warrant thing. I did send them to him, and he sent back that he would, and I can let him explain, but he would like the board to add multifamily dwelling in these bylaws instead of casting a multifamily dwelling outright. So I said that
Care to
is
comment on
the
that?
conversation we'll have tonight, and then I can send off the ad tomorrow.
Yeah, I want to have my input limited because I'm the moderator, but just to explain your process, as I understand it through the Attorney General's office, is wherever our zoning bylaw allows a single family by, as Rick just said, by right or by special permit, then an ADU could be placed. They might have to get a special permit where a special permit's required, or it could be done as of right if it was done as of right. So Liz had noticed that in the text of the CBD district and the TOD, Transit Oriented Development District, it currently allows, as you know, certain commercial uses, mixed uses as of right, and then it says 100% residential uses by special permit of the planning board. Fine. The initial draft deleted the 100% residential uses by special permit of the planning board because the intent was to block the ADUs. I had suggested you should say that more specifically, that you can allow multifamily only by special permit, period.
Which was the intent.
No allowance of a single family by special permit or otherwise. And because if you don't allow the special permit in those two sections for a single family, then there's no ADU in those sections. But I think my suggestion was the board might want to retain the ability to allow a multifamily by special permit if you should ever see fit. But to just throw out 100% residential use handcuffs you, because now you'd need a use variance if that ever was proposed.
And it was intent to be just what you said, it was intended to be the
Yeah.
option of the planning board to do a multifamily use.
Right, I don't think anyone's
Yeah.
ever come to you to ask for a single family in a
No.
CBD for a special permit, but technically they could.
But there's been other all residential uses that were
Exactly, so the proposed wording now would prevent a single family
Yeah.
from coming to you to ask for a special permit, which may or may not be hard for you to deny or whatnot, but it doesn't prevent a multifamily project being submitted to you for review. Again, special permits don't have to be approved, but at least there's an option to put it in front of a hearing. So
That's all. So that wording addresses and basically negates an ADU in those two zoning districts by using the revised wording.
But it's a good thing to clean up, so that's good, taking care of that.
Yeah,
And it shouldn't-
the goal is, in the transit-oriented development, which is near the train station, to either have commercial, mixed use, or multifamily, for obvious, that's the whole intent of the district. Similarly, in the central business district, you're not gonna want a single family to go into the central business district. You'd rather have commercial, mixed, or by special permit, multifamily.
I think this will be easy to, if people ask questions at the town meeting floor, I think we can give them good explanations as
Yeah.
to why we want to do this.
Yeah.
Because we have to be prepared to explain what we're doing.
It's basically fine tuning it pursuant, because the state law has enacted this ADU, and so we're doing, we were, as you know, Abington was ahead of the game, because we had accessory apartments for years before this came into play.
And we had Todd for a long time.
Right, so, you know, kudos to you guys for already being ahead of the game. The state's kind of catching up to you, but now we have to tweak our language to further protect the sanctity of your different districts, that's all.
So the use tables that are in this packet don't line up with this, correct? This is moderator's opinion?
So the use table that's in the packet is the one that town council had me correct.
Okay. Yeah, because
So
I'm,
that
that's what-
multi-unit dwelling, I would have to take the no out and put back as a special permit,
yeah, that's, we're getting
if
thrown
that's
out.
the direction you guys wanted to go.
Because we're also changing duplexes, we're also changing side-by-side duplexes, we're also changing conversions into multifamily. So that's where I got kind of confused as well.
I'm looking at the last page on this list.
Yep, so it's in there twice. One is part of the ad and one is part of the articles. But they should all be the same. So I guess that's up to you guys to tell me what you want to see there.
We'll take a few minutes to consider this.
Okay. And we can go one by one down.
It's too bad we can't hold this up to the TV screen so people can see it.
We can do it next month, when you're holding your hearing on it, if you want to do it that way.
Yeah, I think that would be good. Get a preview of what we're going to be presenting at town meeting.
Yeah, I mean, the intent of those districts were to have residential, just not single families, when we did it.
So how we've already changed the 1-2 family or it was never allowed in Todd to have a 2-family or a duplex dwelling on a separate lot. Do you want me to keep that as a special permit in the central business district? Or make it a no, like it is in the Todd?
Myself, I prefer to have it be a no in central businesses.
What did you say?
He said no.
I couldn't hear you.
No, I'm sorry, Bob. I said no in central business district.
For the duplex and
For
the,
the duplex. Yeah.
what, 1-2 family or duplex?
We've got to put our foot down on this. This is something we've been, trying to fight, and stuff's happened. I think we've got to take a stand and say it's not allowed. That's just me.
So then, you're not gonna do the duplex, but then you're gonna jump to the multi-unit dwelling, and that's okay? I mean, that was the intent of the district was, and we've already done several,
Yeah.
all residential. They might not have been a duplex, but
Mr. Riley?
Yeah. Just historically, I would only suggest, I think it's always good when the planning board retains the authority, retains the waiver power, retains the special permit power when appropriate. We've run into situations, we meaning my side of the podium and your side of the table, where the CBD and the TOD language works fine for those properties that are on Washington Street or on Center Avenue. But if you look at the map, for example, on Belmont Street, we just approved a multifamily, a 4-unit. There might be an opportunity where you want a 2-family instead, because it's a neighborhood, it's a lot, and you want to kind of blend out towards the main road.
Instead of having a business on the bottom and an
Yeah.
apartment on the top.
Yeah, but also not to force the hand that, I don't want to put a business on a side street.
right.
But I also don't want to build a multifamily. Would you allow me to build a duplex? If you take away that special permit for a duplex, then you take away that option. Just a comment, you guys can decide.
I think our intent was to keep the single families out of it.
Yeah.
Yeah, I mean, I think with the central business district, what we're finding is that the district expands into that neighborhood behind North Street kind of deeper than we expect. I mean,
Right.
all the way through Arnold Park into the factory and Wales
Yeah.
Street, I mean, that's all considered central business district. And there's a bunch of little homes in there. So, you know, I think having that option as a duplex, and there's some very nice duplexes.
Yeah.
So I think there could be an option, especially if it's replacing an existing duplex or.
So you want me to go back and change the duplex back to a special permit? And then
Yeah.
the attached dwelling occupied by not more than one family in each unit between sidewalls, provided that no row of such units shall consist of more of 4?
So the difference between 2 and 3, 2 is a 2-family either on top or next to,
Yes.
and number 3 is, I don't want to use as, yeah, townhouses, row houses, but you can have no more than 4 attached.
Right.
Okay.
So I think that's the gist of where you're going, right? To have the multifamilies.
Yeah.
Okay, so I'll change those back to special permits.
Yep.
And then the next one is the multi-unit dwellings, and you want those to be special permits.
Yep.
Okay, and then the last one is the conversion of an existing dwelling to accommodate not more than 3 families, provided the exterior. So number 8, you want me to change those back to, do you want me to put them as special permits or allow them?
Special permits.
Special permits.
Okay.
Yeah, yeah. Okay.
Okay. All right, and then for the language, for the articles, do you want me to use what Attorney Riley has suggested? Which is to replace, to add the language of multi-family dwellings
That seems to work.
in those 2?
I think so.
Seems to work.
So this is the, is this the Todd?
So they're both.
Yeah.
So in both of those districts, Attorney Riley submitted some language
So
to leave it as multi-family dwellings in both the CBD and the PUD.
CBD, okay.
So there'll be 2 articles at town meeting, one for each zoning district, and then we'll do the use table, although we can just probably do all 3, right? Maybe, we'll see. Could we do all 3 at once, or make them separate? I guess that's a conversation for a different day. Can you put your moderator hat on? All right, if I can just have a quick vote from you guys to make those changes we went through on the table of use and to
Make that-
adopt Attorney Riley's language for the articles.
Make that motion.
Suggested language.
Bob's made the motion. Someone want to second it?
Second.
Motion made and seconded. All those in favor of making these changes in the warrant article?
Thank
Aye.
you.
Yes.
So just for clarification, special permit for use is approved by the planning board, and variances obviously go to zoning. But but the planning board has special permits
Just
for
in those
use.
2 districts for the residential use?
I mean, in general as well.
No.
No.
No. In highway commercial, that would go to the zoning board of appeals if they want to do an all residential use.
Oh, really?
Hence why that 676 Bedford Street is on their agenda.
I was going to say, that's why I get confused.
Yeah.
So why did we keep it for those 2 districts but not in the others?
It previously existed in those districts.
Yeah.
And then in 2003, when we added these districts, because I think the thought was the planning board,
'Cause it-
plan-wise,
Right.
you know, the mixed use is what the hope was that was gonna happen.
'cause it could
But
be
then you kept the
residential,
authority
yes.
to do the all residential.
Mr. Riley, is Attorney Riley
Right,
stepping up
and
to
the,
the
and the other reason why, when you created those new districts, which were trying to get Abington into the future, most anything that was being proposed, whether it be commercial, mixed use, or multifamily, would also require site plan review. So it kind of makes sense to do one-stop shopping, that you guys would be able to see the whole picture, the use and the design. That's how that was put together.
Okay.
There are some uses, you're right, Rick, that we go here to the site plan review, but we go there go to the zoning board for a special permit.
Okay.
Before we jump away from this, though, I do want to let you know, I had an email from town council, but I asked about the single family, the ADU stuff, and ADUs are allowed anywhere a single family or two-family use is allowed by right. So I don't know if you want to go back and revisit that two-family use.
By right or special permit, or just by right?
Is a use allowed by right or by special permit?
I mean, I'm not sure how they're gonna squeeze a ADU into some of those lots, but
Mr. Riley, sir.
And I'm not here to promote either way, I'm trying to help. Listen,
you're
I've been
trying
trying
to
to abide by
facilitate
this
this.
Attorney
Yes.
General, because I don't want to lose my role as moderator. But just to keep in mind, as you debate this, the special permit authority that you are retaining under the transitional development, transit-oriented development district and in the CBD district is to allow a special permit for 100% residential use for multifamily dwellings. That's where you're heading. Just to note, the definition of a multifamily dwelling is 3 or more units. Rick said just a few minutes ago, and kind of perked my ears up, the use chart you were just talking about, we were just talking about duplexes as a special permit. That would, if I wanted to now, if I'm reading that and I want to put a duplex in a CBD district, and I see I can get a special permit, I'd go to the zoning board for that, I think, at that point. Because the text that you're changing is talking about multifamily. So you are either, if you leave that as a special permit in the chart, you would allow a duplex in a CBD or TOD if the zoning board approved it. If you take it away and say it's a no, then you're just saying we're not going to allow a single family or two families in CBDs with TOD. Your decision, but I just want to help explain that.
Would that be then, if it's no on both of them, then they would have to go to the
For
zoning board
variance.
for variance?
For a variance.
So you could go
For
for a use variance, but the whole point of this was we're addressing ADUs.
Right.
So if town council is saying that any district that allows a one-family or a two-family,
Single family or two-family use is allowed by right or by special permit.
okay, I
ADUs
thought it was
not
only a
allowed.
single family.
Yeah, no.
I thought it was only a single
Yeah.
family,
Yeah.
too.
If it's a two-family, it changes your equation slightly, or at least your thought pattern.
I mean,
Well, it impacts that one two-family or one duplex dwelling on a separate lot.
Right.
That one.
the idea is that we're still okay with the use of multifamily in central business or transit-oriented.
Right.
So I don't know if it really makes a difference if we're going to say, all right, you have a duplex and now you're going to build a 600 square foot addition out the back and now that's going to be an ADU, but really just turns a duplex into a triplex.
Well, I think it opens up a whole can of worms about if it's a duplex on one lot. I
I mean,
mean,
that-
this is far beyond
Yeah, I mean, that's a whole
our
other question I have,
conversation, right?
which is if you have one of those single-family homes, you put the giant garage on it, and that's the ADU, is it now a duplex? Or is it a single-family home with an ADU?
It's an ADU, I think, but to carry out your example, I have a large one-family in the CBD, and I decide I want to break it up and make it a duplex. If you put no, I can't do that. If you put yes, I think you'd go to the zoning board, okay? Because you guys are dealing with multifamilies and above. The two-family statement by town council threw me for a loop.
Yeah.
And I'll have to research this more myself. Because I think we're walking in here as how do we eliminate ADUs from
Right.
single-family uses?
Right.
Yeah.
I didn't really pay attention to it until I just read
That's
it
the first time
again.
I've heard her say that. And
Yeah, and I thought, everything I've read, I thought it was only single family.
yeah.
I brought the
I could be wrong.
I mean, the underlying point is I'm not opposed to multifamily in these districts. I think it's what we want to protect is proliferation of residential only in these districts.
Yeah.
Versus whether it's a duplex or triplex or quadplex or whatever, how many units it is. I think it's more the encouragement of commercial.
And if we can do this by revising the tables, that's good.
Our current bylaw, the ADU bylaw, that was Article 20, that was approved and reviewed by the Attorney General, it talks about, one of the definitions is single-family residential zoning district, any zoning district where a single-family residential dwelling are permitted or allowable use, including any zoning district where single-family residential dwellings are allowed as of right or by special permit. So that only talks about single-family there. It keeps talking about single-family residential zoning districts. I don't see that our bylaw mentions the two-family. So I don't know how you want to play it, if you want to address just the single-family thing as you were, leave the special permit in the two-family, and then maybe ask town council to confirm that, and you can put it on your agenda in April. Whatever you guys
Good
want.
idea. I was always under the impression it was single family. I might have missed something somewhere, but I don't think I did.
It sounds like it's worth asking for clarification on that.
Yeah, my gut feeling is that was a mistake in that one email, when she referred to, when she said or two families. But I hate to,
We could easily find out.
yeah, I don't like disagreeing with town council, but our
Me neither.
bylaw is specifically limited to only single-family districts.
Yeah, she's quoting the general law, the state law
Right.
for the ADUs, not our bylaw.
Yeah, I'm looking at the law too, and I used to see single accessory, single,
If you can do chapter
Single-family
48, section
residential.
3.
Yeah, I mean, when I read through it, I thought it was all only single family, but.
in a single-family residential zoning district.
Yep.
48, section 3, what did she say?
ADUs, chapter 48, section 3, ADUs. Well, chapter 48, section 3, and then she said 8 comma, ADUs are allowed anywhere single-family or two-family use is allowed by right or by special permit. The zoning bylaw provides a definition of multifamily as dwelling, comma, multifamily, a building containing 3 or more dwelling units. So I think we're safe on the multifamily being 3 or more units. That an ADU is not allowed. I mean, yeah, it wouldn't be allowed, according to our use chart. Therefore, you may have a 2-family dwelling unit and an ADU, or a 3-unit multifamily use.
All right, well, let's get a clarification, because
What are you coming up with,
Please.
Sean?
No, that's why I asked what section 3 is. It's a very long section.
Oh,
yeah,
sorry.
it's the,
You can't speed read that?
but
We'll give Attorney Riley a minute or two. One more.
Do you want to divert?
Can we ask Amy just to make sure?
Yep.
So when this is done, we should be hopefully good to go for the April meeting when we discuss this. It's good to know that there's an awful lot of expertise on this board, particularly Mr. Soper.
What's up?
It's good to know that we have a lot of expertise on this board, including Bob being a longtime building inspector.
That would still go, it wouldn't go to the zoning board, it would still go to planning, because it's an all residential use, right? for the special permit in the CBD.
The wording as proposed says that residential uses are allowed.
Oh, you're right,
second
you're
and
right,
above,
you're right, to multifamily.
Or by special permit for
Okay.
multifamily residential uses. So the wording of the CBD and the TOD does not address single-family or duplexes in CBD or TOD. Doesn't.
It's a no in TOD.
Right,
Yeah, it's already a no.
including the duplex.
Yep,
And CBD is.
a special permit.
I'm just reading the last, I'm reading the last paragraph, the last section of 48, section 3, which is when they added some of the language regarding ADUs, and it talks about single-family residential zoning districts. So I'm a little confused with the two families, but I do recollect some discussion about if you owned a two-family, theoretically, you could get an ADU out back.
Yeah. And I think
I'm
that
not
was.
town council, and
No,
we're
no, and
moderator.
I'll double check with her,
Please.
but I think that was
Please.
part of the concern our group had,
Yeah.
was that in these two zoning districts, well, specifically the Central Business District, the lots are small anyway, and then you have a two-family, and then you're going to throw an ADU in the back.
Yeah.
I think that was part of the conversation we had. All right, so you guys want me to double check with her about the two families?
Please.
Please.
Yeah, to move this along, please.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Okay. All right, that I will do.
Okay,
Public hearing, site plan, and special permit, 200 Whale Street. I think I shared with you guys earlier that Larry would not be able to be with us tonight, and upon learning that, I reached out to Attorney Riley about 200 Whale Street, asking if they would be okay with continuing the hearing till April.
and I responded, and I said,
Yep.
I didn't have a problem.
Yep. But you guys do need to vote on that.
I'll make that motion.
Second? Motion made and seconded to continue this to the April meeting?
Second?
Motion made and seconded. All those in favor of continuing the action on 200 Whale Street to our April meeting? Motion made and approved, so voted, thank you.
And can I just note for the record, Sean Riley, 5 Washington Street, representing the applicant, Stephen Zaboski at 200 Whale Street, and we submitted a letter where we consented and have no problem with this continuance, and we want to extend publicly our condolences to Larry Silver and his family.
Yeah.
Thank you.
Liz, did you put together a card or a letter or something to Larry?
No, one of his staff people called, and I asked her to convey
Okay.
the board's condolences as
This
well as
wasn't,
ours.
this was not in the packet.
No.
No,
No.
no, because I got it
Like,
walking out the door. Yep. All of that happened, and I also want you to know, and I did let Bruce know this, that I did send letters to all the neighbors so they would not show up here needlessly
yeah,
and be annoyed. So they, it appears they all got them. And I did tell them it would hopefully be continued to April, which now it is.
I'm just going to send a condolence card to Larry at his office in Bridgewater.
All right,
And you guys, if you want to do that.
all right.
His office is down by the state prison on Route 18.
Yikes. And I think the last thing, Mr. Chairman, that is on the agenda is Kevin worked diligently on the suggestions to the Abington Select Board for economic development. He combined the suggestions made by Mr. Collins and Mr. Shepherd.
so this is what Rick had originally submitted, correct?
Yep.
Yep, and then your stuff got added.
Kevin did some tweaks on it.
Yep,
Added where?
At the bottom.
at the bottom of this, so on the second page.
So there was just 5 recommendations originally that I put 6 through 8, which were yours.
Oh, I see now, yeah, yeah.
I just copied and pasted.
I have not done further work on this because I realized if we were to present this to the select board, the majority of them are leaving anyway, so it would be better to just wait until the new board's in place before we present this.
Okay.
So, but I can take what's on this and turn it into an actual presentation, but just no point to do it right now.
Right.
And OCPC, if this is important, but Old Colony Planning Council, which does the comprehensive economic development study, Don Sullivan is retiring, and their economic development planners, Don Sullivan is retiring, he's the man who succeeded me at OCPC. He's retiring, and Nick Giaquinto, who also worked in that department, is gone to a new position in Connecticut. So if we need to reach out to OCPC for any of this stuff, they've got some turnover. I know they're hiring someone. I'm not going back to my old job.
Just to jump back, just doing some research, it appears that there was an AG's ruling on East Bridgewater's ADU bylaw. And when it came to this idea of on single-family homes, they struck it down because they said, and I'm quoting from this now, protected use ADUs are allowed on lots containing a two-family dwelling or a multifamily dwelling. Therefore, restricting ADUs to lots with single-family dwellings conflicts with 43 and the regulations. For this reason, we delete the word single-family from sections and yada yada. So I'm wondering if that's what's.
We had to strike single family from one section of ours.
So I'm wondering if that's what it is.
It might be
But if we can
that.
get clarification, if that's what it is, and
Yep.
great. That's good to know.
All right, so I will check back with her on that, and depending on her response to that one two-family duplex, I'll make the appropriate change on the table of use, and then you guys will get all the revisions for the hearing in April.
Yeah, it would be good if, I know you're good about sending that out, but sometimes we only get this a couple of days before the meeting. If we could, if you could just send those changes out separately before you send it. So we'd have some time to look at it. And send a copy to Mr. Ryan. Anything else? I have something I want to talk about.
Okay. There's nothing else on the agenda.
Okay, I just wanted to mention, Citizens Planner Training Collaborative is having their annual spring conference, I think it's March 21st.
March 21st.
March 21st. And our very own Mr. Rick Collins is going to present a session on, sir?
Writing determinations on use. Doing a whole big thing on our new clean energy bylaws that we'll all become very familiar with over the next 6 months.
Yep.
So we'll be doing a walkthrough on how the new regs and guidelines will be used by planning boards and conservation agents and everybody else.
So Rick and I will be there. I get to go free because I'm on the board. And I'm sure that if any of you guys
Kevin
want to
will
go
be
out there. Kevin, you're going?
Kevin's going.
Because he's got to go to a Holy Cross reunion, or Mr. Riley has got.
Is the 21st, not the 14th?
21st.
Oh, even better, good. All right.
Sure.
Double book now?
No, usually it's a day before the St. Patrick's Day parade, which makes for a very long weekend.
Not
So,
this year.
yeah.
And does everybody know that? St. Patrick's Day Parade has
Moved
been,
to April.
has been pushed to April 12th.
Yeah, yeah.
So put your shillelaghs away for a little while.
And Rick, I'm going to go to your session, even though it's the last session before lunch.
Yep, it is.
So keep that in mind, because
Please.
lunch is at 12:30.
Feel free to heckle.
Are you going to this, Liz?
I'm debating.
You should. You can hang out at the lunch table like we do this.
Yeah, our budget took a hit, a 10% cut, so I got to figure that out.
I could probably arrange it, that you could be.
That's all right, that's all right.
And Joe could come.
So I should probably have let you guys know that. So we got a memo about a month ago that cut our expense budget by 10% this year. And then the town manager rolled out his budget at the selectmen's meeting last week. And it's under $2,000 would be the cut we'll take if the override doesn't pass. Where it
Yeah.
lumped into the town hall funds, so,
I thought all our funds came from our,
no. Oh, we wouldn't be working here.
Well, can we cover some of that by different application fees?
We just, was it 2 years ago? Was the year you started, we raised everything. Yeah, I don't know how much more we could raise them. I mean, it's not gonna cover us, I wish it did.
who's
No,
going to
but-
cover the Christmas party? Who's going to pay for the Christmas party then?
I know, right?
Christmas party.
Yeah, our gala, our Christmas gala.
Right? Isn't that the chairman show? No?
Well, you're welcome, if you're not allergic to cats.
One item, Mr. Chairman, briefly.
Yes, sir.
So the last submission or subdivision plan approved for 4454 Linwood was one of the ones that fell under the stormwater rules and regs. And you may recall, we've had a couple of conversations off and on about trying to build a checklist that Kevin was working on so that we make sure that we have all of the information provided that's required by the stormwater regs, which is fairly extensive. So I was talking to Liz about that a little bit for a while, and specifically about the operations and maintenance plan that is required, and noting that the ongoing maintenance of the stormwater infrastructure is private. So unlike a subdivision that we approve or a roadway that we accept, where infrastructure now becomes the responsibility of the town, stormwater regs in Section 10 are quite clear that that remains privately owned. And so the implications, or I guess the subdivision that would be most directly impacted by that is the 4454 Linwood. So we talked a little bit about trying to just put that on the agenda to make sure that we were all, as a board, aware of the fact that the stormwater regs make that one a little bit different in terms of the way it's going to be handled on an ongoing basis. Hence, why it becomes important that we know, we have a name on the dotted line of who's responsible and how they're going to finance it and how it's going to be policed. And that became a question of John Stone in the Department of Public Works was going to, or had in the past, assumed responsibility for some of that policing, and we assume would continue that in that role as it pertains to the stormwater infrastructure. But those are the types of things I think as a town we want to be very clear about. And particularly given the fact, like I say, that we have one that we have approved that now falls within these regulations. So we're going to talk about that in April a bit, and I don't know if the agenda is filling up too fast for that discussion, but...
Filling up pretty rapidly.
So, it'll be 200 Whale Street. You'll continue that conversation, and then we have to have the public hearing for the roadway acceptance and for the zoning changes, the proposed zoning changes, in order to have time for, in time for the annual town meeting in May. That's a normal meeting night for you guys, as it normally is, and usually carry a light agenda, so I mean, it would be up to you what you want to kick to May, if anything.
That's right, that May meeting is right before town meeting, so I don't want to have anything heavy at that meeting.
No, because you don't have a lot of time
Yeah,
to have an in-depth conversation.
exactly.
I mean, I will tell you, we had that conversation about stormwater with Zoo. I don't know if you guys remember that, on the proposed Rose Place. And he actually suggested that the board could not accept the detention basins and the stormwater as part of a roadway acceptance. And he sent some documents along at that time from Bridgewater about leaving the stormwater and the stormwater stuff out of a roadway acceptance.
We also had a conversation about how it was going to be funded. We never-
Right, and we
never finished
we
it.
do actually have a fund. That got set up at a town meeting. That showed up on,
Will we never come up with an amount?
right, I think that was the problem. We couldn't agree on an amount, because to care for something in perpetuity, the funds would have to be invested, which they can't be invested if they're in a town account. They do make some interest, but they're not invested.
It's a catch-22
Yeah.
with that part of the,
Right.
right? So how do you fund it?
Right, I mean, how much do you charge when they're done in order to
When the
maintain?
developer stops maintaining it?
Right.
According to our stormwater regs, that information was all to have been provided by the applicant.
Right, but then when he decides he's not going to do it anymore, then what? Town's going to sue him to, hence, it's a catch-22.
Right,
So now the town's going to spend more money to.
Or it's an LLC that dissolves, you got nothing to
Right.
go after.
Yeah.
Yep. So I don't know if any of that discussion requires at some point we go back and look at the stormwater regs and decide that they need to be tweaked because they're just not realistic, or, I mean, I don't know.
Yeah, I mean, we were kicking around the thought of some sort of monies, but then what do you do with the monies?
couldn't,
Right.
the board couldn't agree on it, and the stormwater regs are a product of the MS4 permit. So, I mean, I suppose we could tweak them somewhat, but I'm not sure.
So,
How
I mean,
much?
right now, all the existing ones, town's supposed to take care of.
Right, right. And I have a
Which
list, I have
I
a
can-
list of those.
You go look at some of them, you never even know the detention basin was there anymore.
know.
They still function, obviously, but they're overgrown. Mature trees in them,
Right, right.
which maybe that helps them function, I don't know. I don't think they were designed that way.
Do you want to put it off till June, Rick? Or we can do it in May?
No, as Bruce was saying, the May meeting is not
Not May, sorry, April.
April meeting.
April.
April. Well, we can put it on the agenda for April,
All right.
and then if we have time for it, we'll do it. If not, we'll bump it.
Okay,
It's just a meeting before town meeting.
Right,
right, you don't
Right.
want to do it
We
then,
don't
so we'll
have
put it on for
anything.
April.
That'll be the main.
right.
It's usually held in a classroom over there, so. All right, anything else to talk about tonight?
Motion to adjourn?
Motion made, seconded?
Second?
All those in favor?
Aye.
Aye.
Thank you, everyone, for watching. Thank you, Mr.